Gentlemen, prepare to have everything you've been taught about penis size turned on its head. For years, society, through magazines, movies, locker room banter, and even online forums, has hammered home the idea that bigger is always better. The message is clear. If you were just a little longer or thicker, your confidence would skyrocket, your relationships would thrive, and you'd be the envy of every man. But as a urologist with over 3 decades of experience, I'm here to tell you that this narrative is not just misleading, it can be harmful. My name is Dr. James Carter, and I've worked with tens of thousands of men from all walks of life with every size and shape imaginable. What I've learned challenges the myths you've grown up with. Here's the surprising reality. Some of the happiest, most confident men I've treated have average or even smaller than average penises, while those with larger sizes often face struggles they never anticipated. Today I'm sharing 5 medically grounded, life-changing truths about large penises that will make you rethink what you've been told. These truths aren't just about physical health, they touch on intimacy, daily life, and even how the world perceives you. By the end, you'll understand why being in the middle of the size spectrum can lead to a healthier, more comfortable life, especially as you age. And stick around for the 5th truth, where I'll share a patient story so unexpected it might make you grateful for what you have right now. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with men's health advice tailored to you. After you've read this, leave a 1 in the comments if these truths open your eyes, or a 0 if you think I can dive even deeper in a future video. Let's get started. Truth number 1, larger penises are more prone to serious injury. Let's kick things off with a truth most men don't consider until it's too late. A larger penis is more vulnerable to serious injury, particularly as you age. In my 30+ years as a urologist, I've had to break tough news to patients about a condition called penile fracture. Despite the name, it's not a broken bone, there's no bone in the penis, but a tear in the tunica albuginea, the tough sheath surrounding the erectile chambers. This injury often occurs during intense sexual activity when the penis is fully erect and stretched to its maximum capacity, much like an overinflated balloon. A sudden wrong angle, an overly enthusiastic thrust, or a slip during intimacy can cause the tissue to rip, resulting in an audible pop, immediate loss of erection, severe bruising, swelling, and pain that's hard to forget. Why does size increase the risk? From a mechanical perspective, a longer penis creates greater leverage when it bends, putting more strain on the tissue. Imagine a long tree branch versus a short one. The longer one snaps more easily under pressure. For men over 60, this risk is amplified. Aging reduces tissue elasticity, slows blood flow, and delays healing, making injuries more likely and recovery more challenging. Certain positions, like doggy style, or when a partner is on top, carry higher risks due to less control over angles and force. I once treated a man in his late 60s, proud of his above-average size his entire life, who came to my office shaken after a bedroom mishap. He required emergency surgery to repair the damage, but his erections were never quite the same. He later confided that he wished he'd known about these risks decades earlier. This isn't about scaring you, it's about empowering you with knowledge. Size doesn't just bring bragging rights, it comes with vulnerabilities. Protecting your sexual health means understanding these risks, communicating with your partner, and being mindful of your body's limits. No matter how many years you've been sexually active. Truth number 2, surgical procedures can be complicated by size. The second truth takes us into the operating room, where a larger penis can turn routine medical procedures into complex challenges. Most men don't think about how their anatomy might affect surgery until they're facing it. But as a urologist, I've seen firsthand how size can complicate critical care. Many urological tools, such as those used for transurethral procedures like prostate surgery, are designed for average male anatomy. These instruments are calibrated to navigate a specific length with precision. When a penis is significantly longer than average, that extra distance creates technical difficulties, increasing the risk of complications. You might wonder, can't the surgeon just adjust? It's not that simple. Extending instruments further can compromise accuracy, create awkward angles, and raise the chance of unintended trauma to surrounding tissues. This becomes especially relevant as men age, since conditions like benign prostatic hyperplasia and enlarged prostate are common in your 60s and 70s. These often require procedures to relieve urinary issues, such as difficulty starting a stream or incomplete bladder emptying. For a man with an average-sized penis, these surgeries are typically straightforward. But for someone with a larger penis, surgeons may need to improvise, which is far from ideal in a high-stakes setting. I recall a patient in his early 70s who needed a routine prostate procedure. His larger anatomy turned a 1-hour operation into a multi-hour ordeal, increasing his risk of bleeding, infection, and prolonged recovery. He was otherwise healthy, but the added complexity left him in discomfort longer than expected. Afterward, he told me he had never considered his size a potential liability for something unrelated to sex. These are the realities men aren't warned about in their younger years. Knowing this now can help you discuss potential challenges with your doctor and plan for smoother medical care in the future. Truth number 3, everyday bathroom struggles. The third truth might sound minor at first, but for those who've experienced it, it's a source of daily frustration. Using the bathroom with a larger penis can be surprisingly awkward. You'd think something as basic as urination wouldn't vary much from one man to another. But size can make a big difference, especially in public restrooms. In the US, many toilets have high water levels in the bowl, meaning that when you sit down, a longer penis might unintentionally dip into cold, germ-laden water, a shock you won't forget. In Europe, toilets often have lower water levels but higher front rims, leading to contact with cold porcelain, which is just as unpleasant, particularly in less than clean public facilities. For younger men, this might be an occasional annoyance, but for those over 60, it becomes a frequent issue. Aging brings changes like an enlarged prostate, weaker bladder control, or medications that increase urination frequency, meaning more trips to the restroom. As mobility decreases or joints stiffen, sitting down to urinate often becomes the safer or more comfortable choice. When you're doing this multiple times a day, the design of the toilet and your anatomy start to matter a lot. I had a patient in his mid-60s who admitted he avoided certain rest stops on road trips because he knew which ones had high-water toilets. He'd meticulously plan his routes to avoid the discomfort and embarrassment of an accidental splash. His family thought it was a peculiar habit, but for him, it was about preserving dignity in a private moment. These small, practical challenges are rarely discussed when men fantasize about having a larger penis. They imagine admiration, not the hassle of navigating public restrooms or worrying about hygiene in everyday situations. It's a reminder that what seems like an asset in one context can be a nuisance in another. Truth number 4, intimacy challenges with partners. Moving to the bedroom, the fourth truth addresses a common misconception, that a larger penis always enhances intimacy. In reality, it can sometimes create barriers, especially as couples age. Women's bodies change over time. After menopause, vaginal tissues become thinner, less elastic, and more sensitive, while natural lubrication often decreases. Pelvic floor muscles may also weaken, making penetration that was once comfortable feel tight or painful. For a partner with a significantly larger than average penis, what was once pleasurable can become distressing, limiting the enjoyment of intimacy. I worked with a couple in their late 60s who faced this challenge. Married for decades and deeply in love, they wanted to maintain a physical connection, but intercourse often left her sore for days. They tried lubricants, extended foreplay in different positions, but the physical mismatch persisted. He felt guilty for causing her discomfort, while she felt frustrated for dreading something they both valued. Through counseling and creative adjustments, like focusing on non-penetrative intimacy, they found ways to stay close, but it required open communication and a willingness to adapt. This isn't uncommon. Larger sizes can restrict the range of comfortable positions and demand more preparation to avoid pain. Meanwhile, couples with average-sized partners often enjoy greater flexibility and fewer physical hurdles, maintaining active sex lives well into their 70s or 80s. I've seen men with average anatomies who never worried about causing discomfort, allowing them to focus on emotional connection rather than physical limitations. This challenges the myth that bigger is inherently better. It's often the opposite in long-term relationships. Truth number 5, the unavoidable social spotlight. The fifth truth is about a challenge you can't fully escape: the social attention that comes with a noticeably larger penis. In settings with limited privacy, like locker rooms, public showers, or medical exams, size becomes impossible to hide. While some men might initially find this attention flattering, it often turns into a burden over time. I've had patients describe how locker room jokes, whispered conversations, or invasive questions followed them for years. One man in his 70s shared that he dealt with this scrutiny since his teens, making him cautious about new relationships in social spaces. This attention goes beyond casual comments. I've treated men who faced inappropriate behavior, like strangers attempting to take photos in gym showers or colleagues making assumptions about their character based on their anatomy. One patient stopped visiting his community pool after a non-explicit photo of him in swim trunks circulated online, sparking gossip that lingered for months. He felt his reputation was unfairly tarnished, all because of something he couldn't control. Then there's the issue of assumptions. Some people, whether potential partners or acquaintances, may approach you with expectations, seeing you as a curiosity rather than an individual. In rare cases, men have faced accusations of inappropriate behavior simply because their size was noticeable in certain clothing. For older men who value their privacy and reputation, these misunderstandings can be deeply unsettling. This constant awareness of being observed or judged can make it harder to relax in social settings or trust others' intentions, turning what seemed like an advantage into a lifelong challenge. Conclusion: after more than 30 years as a urologist, I've seen men wrestle with insecurities about their size, and I've witnessed how these concerns shape their lives. The 5 truths we've explored: higher injury risks, surgical complications, bathroom frustrations, intimacy challenges, and unwanted social attention, reveal a reality far different from the fantasy of bigger is better. I've met men with larger sizes who would trade some of that length for peace of mind, and I've seen men with average or smaller sizes live vibrant, confident lives, unburdened by these hidden struggles. Your value as a man isn't measured by what's between your legs. Confidence comes from how you care for your body, nurture your relationships, and approach life's challenges. A healthy heart, strong circulation, balanced hormones, and a supportive partner will do far more for your quality of life than any extra inches ever could. Whether you're 50, 60, or beyond, focus on what you can control. Stay active, eat well, manage your blood pressure, communicate openly with your partner, and see your doctor regularly. These choices will keep you strong and fulfilled in the years ahead. The next time you catch yourself wishing for more, think about the men who faced the challenges we've discussed. Many would gladly trade places with you. True contentment comes from appreciating what you have, not chasing an illusion. Drop a 1 in the comments if this shifted your perspective, or a 0 if you want more insights like these. Let's keep the conversation going and build a healthier, more confident future together.